Hey family, how is everybody? Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Listen, I shot the video about Jussie Smollett, but it did not turn out well, so we're going to try it again. Listen, I hope everybody's doing well. I want to say thank you for your continued support. Being willing to come on by this channel and hear what I have to say, even if you disagree with me, the time that you take, your willingness to at least listen, I'm very appreciative of that, okay? So if you haven't subscribed, please go ahead on and hit that subscribe button. And if you like the video, hit the thumbs up. I sure appreciate it. All right, guys, I want to jump right into it. I got class this evening, so I got to hit it and quit it, okay? Jussie Smollett. I thought Jussie was going to have to come to Mississippi and do rehab to get things together. And look at here. Oh, Jussie said, I don't need rehab in Mississippi, Alicia Thomas. I know people in high places. Good Lord have mercy, Jussie. Jussie made a phone call. I know people have been upset about it and confused, but it's not a whole lot to be confused about this situation, okay? Jussie knew somebody who had a lot of money and or a lot of power. Let's not forget, this is Chicago, and made his charges go away. And I want to tell you guys that sometimes in this criminal justice system, it happens just like that. Jussie is not the only one. I will say that it happens more for people who got money and fame and fortune than it does for the regular old average Joe. But it does happen, okay? As a criminal defense attorney, I have been successful and blessed in my career to help worthy individuals to find themselves, who have found themselves in trouble, get out of that trouble. My grandmother and mother, aunts, and everybody used to say trouble is easy to get into, but it's sure hard to get out of. And sometimes you don't get out. But Jussie was able to get out of his situation. I had someone in the comments ask me if they thought that Jussie had done an Alford plea. And my response was, it sounds like it. But let me explain what an Alford plea is, and tell you that he did not do an Alford plea, okay? An Alford plea is where an individual comes into court, pleads guilty to an offense because it is in his best interest. He or she believes that if they went to trial, the chances of getting convicted would be high, and the penalty, if convicted, would be more than they could bear. So you plead guilty, cut a deal, whatever that may be. Deals don't always mean jail time, but you cut a deal with the DA and you take the risk of that hard time, a lot of time, right, off of the table. And so you don't have to worry about the possibility of getting a whole lot of time. Or at least the maximum time, I should say. Okay. And Jussie didn't do an Alford plea because he never went into court before a judge. That's something that you would do in front of a judge. Now, the unique thing about the Alford plea is that although you're pleading guilty, you have the benefit of continuing to say, I didn't do it, which is what Jussie did when he came out and did his little press conference, right? I maintain my innocence. I've been telling the truth ever since, you know. So that's what an Alford plea allows you to do. And since Jussie didn't make it in front of a judge, technically he did not do an Alford plea. However, this is what I find interesting about the situation with Jussie. His record was sealed. Well, why is that interesting? Let me tell you. Thanks so much for asking and being interested. Listen, normally with a charge like this, right? Jussie would enter a guilty plea. He will be placed on probation for a period of time, pay a fine, pay court costs, do some community service, and after whatever that probationary period may be, anywhere from 6 months to 5 years, the charges ultimately will be dismissed and expunged from his record. Expungement is a word that I kept looking for, but I haven't heard. They dropped the charges, but his record has not been expunged. It's been sealed. And what that tells me is something was in those records. Either Jussie made some type of admission, or there is something in the records that clearly show that this dude was, okay? And we don't want the public to know this. So we seal it, because that's what sealing a record means. It means there's something sensitive in the records that we do not want willy-nilly to know about. So we cover it. An expungement makes the record public, but it ain't on your record. Makes the charge and all the information surrounding the charge public, but at some point in time in the future, it will be off your record. And the word expungement I kept listening for and never heard. And so that's something in them records. Now, what I want Jusseii to do is to shut up. That's what I want him to do. I want him to shut up. Stop acting like you ain't do anything. Don't do that. You run around here talking about you the gay Tupac, when really what you are, I think, real close, is the gay OJ. Right? OJ gets off of murder, and instead of going somewhere and sitting down and letting things pass over, give people an opportunity to forget, that's not what Jusseii do. Jusseii keeps talking. I'm going to do a press conference. What? And then draw so much attention to it that you make the DA have to come out and say, look, listen, we dropped the charges because we just didn't think the crime was worthy of any more time and money being spent on it. But ain't nobody saying he didn't do it. And he needs to go somewhere and sit down and shut up. Because just like OJ, you kept talking. You wouldn't apologize. You wouldn't admit. You wouldn't go somewhere and sit down and shut up. So just like OJ got sued civilly after his criminal case, now here comes the Chicago PD to sue you. And there's evidence in the civil case that can come in that might not be able to be used in a criminal case. Oh, God. Which might be why Jusseii was fighting to seal it. Because maybe the seal will stay and the city of Chicago won't be able to use it against him in the civil case. Because the evidence in the OJ trial was not sealed. And then, after being sued, instead of going somewhere and sit himself down, OJ decided to just keep doing stuff and goes to jail for trying to get his own stuff back. Good Lord. Just won't shut up. My God, all heaven. Jusseii, them folks want that money. Listen, go ahead on and pay them folks that money and go somewhere and sit down and shut up. Shut up before they come and get you for something way pettier than this. And you end up getting some jail time. Stop it. Be quiet. Shut up. Pay the city of Chicago their money and let it go. Sometimes you do have to pay the piper. Sometimes you just got to pay him. And you owe the city of Chicago. So pay them. Okay? Ain't nobody saying you didn't do it, guys. And there are people we know I mean, good Lord, look at 45 who have done exactly what they have been charged with doing, but it doesn't always necessarily mean they're going to catch the consequences of it, at least not initially, not right now. Sometimes the consequences are not served until later. Sometimes not at all, at least not on this side of heaven, right? So it happens. It happens, but it don't mean they didn't do it. As a criminal defense attorney, you know, hey, come on, man. All our clients are not innocent. There are some. Sometimes you mess around, man, and you get you somebody that just didn't do it. And sometimes people did it, right? But that's not the test in our criminal justice system. When it comes down to giving somebody or someone being entitled by the Constitution, right, to have a right to an attorney and to fight the charges, it's not about whether the defendant did it or didn't do it. It's about whether or not the state can prove beyond a reasonable doubt that they did it. That's different than, well, they should receive a punishment. They should. And at some point in their life, they will. But sometimes we have to let the Lord deal with folk if the criminal justice system can't, don't, or won't. Okay? But I believe everybody, Jussie and everybody else, has a right to a very good defense. They're entitled to it under the Constitution, and I don't want to mess with that. I don't think anybody should mess with that. Our criminal justice system may not be all great and wonderful all of the time, but it's sure better than some of these other countries. I ain't lying now. If I'm going to get in trouble, I'd rather get in trouble over here in the States. Shucks. All right. All right, guys. That's all I got on Jusseii. I just wanted to go somewhere and sit down and shut up. Jesus. Well, you do end up having to come to Mississippi to rehab. All right, guys. Listen, I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. Hit that thumbs up button if you like the video. Please subscribe. Thanks to everybody who has continued to remain a subscriber, and thanks to all my new subscribers, man, and keep commenting. Listen, let me hear what you think about Jusseii. Talk to me and tell me what you think about it and how you feel about what I think. Like I say, I ain't saying I'm right all the time or none of that good stuff. And you're welcome to come over here and disagree with me. Just be respectful. We respect each other because this is a safe place for people to express themselves and their opinion. And everybody has a right to have an opinion. All right? As usual, God bless your family. And as always, we'll see you next time.